Each and every time a big shonen entry is about to air, my balls start to itch. It's almost like a seasonal allergy. At the beginning, when Twitter users realized that a somewhat popular manga series they've been illegally reading on some sketchy website is gonna get an anime adaptation, the itch feels like nothing more than a mosquito bite. But then the first trailer comes out. People get hyped. The animation looks fire, the fight scenes are as smooth as my brain feels each time I watch 95% of seasonal isekais. The plot seems, well, whatever plot there is in a shonen anime. At this point, people start arguments. Forums get fired up. The YouTube comment sections under the trailers look like a battlefield. It's just a copycat of this and that. Why did they make her ass smaller? And my favorite one, the manga is better. And at this point, I'm about to tear my balls off with my own hands. But not as much as I do if you don't subscribe. Only 1.1% of you guys are subscribed to my channel. If you end up enjoying my videos, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It honestly gives me a lot of satisfaction and it's the only thing that keeps me going. Because these videos take a shitload of time and effort to make. Thank you a lot, I'm done talking, let's get to the video. Kaiju number 8 is set in a world plagued by continuous kaiju attacks. Yeah, no shit, right? A suppression force has been created in order to protect Japan, and the unanimously loved and respected Mina Ashiro is the commander of the 3rd unit. But this story is not about her. It's about him, Kafka Hibino, a 32-year-old dude who is Mina Ashiro's childhood friend. And although he tried to become part of the suppression force as well when he was younger, he never really succeeded, giving up on his dream and settling for a much more humble occupation. He became part of the Monster Sweeper team, whose purpose is cleaning up the mess left by the suppression force each time they slaughter a kaiju. He spends his days working his ass off digging through kaiju shit, only to receive almost no recognition and to be able to barely afford a one-room apartment. Although his attempts at convincing himself that this is everything he actually needs, he is never able to fully believe his own words. One day, being a seasoned cleaner, he is assigned to a new colleague on his first day at work, in order to teach him how the job is done. Although the two of them don't get particularly along right from the start, by the end of the shift, after Kafka shows that he is actually a caring and supporting senpai, although in his own way, they do end up forming some sort of friendship. Happy end? No, right after that they get attacked by Yojo. Setting all fear aside, Kafka launches to save his partner. Sending him to call for help, he is now facing the Yojo all by himself. He gets severely wounded, not standing a chance against a creature like that. You know, this is the typical moment that absolutely requires the MC to live through a brief flashback of him promising something to somebody a long time ago, while self-deprecating because he didn't keep the promise. Basically, he is a dead man now. But nope. His new partner comes back and bonks the Yojo right in the face. But 10 seconds later, the 3rd unit comes to rescue and the Yojo gets absolutely obliterated. The same night, Kafka wakes up at the hospital and finally decides to reapply for a place in the suppression force, which age limit, luckily for him, has been raised up to 33 years. But then... Okay, at this point I might need an explanation. Why is it that every shonen series that involves the MC having the ability to shapeshift into some type of creature to fight other creatures whose goal is to annihilate humankind always needs to start with them swallowing some weird shit? I mean, imagine if Eren ate some ass that day, or if you just sucked dick instead of eating a demon's mummified finger. In either case, humanity would have faced a somewhat more pleasant outcome. Now, do I really need to explain what happens next? Kafka can now become a kaiju, and he obviously decides to use his power to protect humanity. I'm sorry, right? I really am, but I just can't stop myself. It's too much. It's honestly too much at this point. So he applies once again and barely manages to pass the initial selection, securing himself a place in the final test. Task that consists in killing as many kaiju as you can in an enclosed facility run by the suppression force. Here we meet a new character, Kikoru Shinomiya, a 13-year-old girl that is the strongest candidate to become a high-rank kaiju suppressor. During the test, things obviously go to shit and an extremely high-class kaiju appears out of nowhere. Shinomiya gets her ass beaten and everybody is ordered to evacuate. Kafka uses his newly acquired power and pulls a Saitama on the kaiju, managing somehow to not be seen by no cameras and nobody else other than Shinomiya and Ichikawa. For what can only be described as a miracle, or simply put MC privilege, he passes the test selected by one of his examiners as a cadet. Not so much for his performance, which was way below average, but more so for his positive vibes. Let's put it like this. If a couple of dudes wearing black suits knocked on my door and flashed me back to factory settings, I would honestly say that this anime is fire. But Okay, let's put aside the fact that originality was not an aspect on the author's mind. And if we do that, well, it is actually not all that bad. Kaiju number 8 is most definitely a no-brainer series, but it's a good no-brainer series. Kafka is a remarkably realistic character, not a particularly deep one, but definitely realistic. As any kid when he was little, his hope and belief were as strong as ever. He had a dream which was that to become a hero, and nobody could wake him up from it. But as many, once he faced defeat for the first time, he had to come to terms with the fact that as hard as one works to achieve their goals, there will always be someone who's better. I think we can all agree that there are only two things that can give a broken man the motivation to come back on track. Bitches, or the opportunity to become a hero and save the world, in order to get bitches. Kafka Hibino is definitely not a hero, and he's not even an overly dramatic 13-year-old that's about to found a political party and turn into a fucking bird. He doesn't strive to free the world from its dangers just for the sake of it. He's a flawed human being. That is an aspect I really enjoy about this series. And unfortunately, at least for the moment, the same thing can't really be said about the other characters. Ichikawa is kinda just there as a somewhat cynical cheerleader, while Shinome is nothing more than your typical OP loli with daddy issues. So, as much as I want to shit on this anime, and I mean, I did for like half of this video, and as much as the genre is definitely not the reason I know the name of every divorced hot MILF in my area by heart, I'm kinda enjoying it. Production IG obviously did an amazing job on the adaptation. You know, I've read the first volume of the manga some time ago and didn't really appreciate the art style too much, but these guys managed to make the show shine under a completely new and different light. The attention to detail is immaculate and the fight scenes are more than enjoyable. Honestly speaking, this anime has become my most anticipated series of this season. I look forward to the new episode every week, and I really hope that, going forward, this series will improve on its weak points to become a truly unforgettable show.